Have you ever said something in a group and nobody reacted? Then, a few minutes later, someone else says the same thing, and suddenly, it's a great idea? Or had a crush on someone who wasn't even your type, and you couldn't explain what it was? That force is allure. And Hollywood once manufactured it on an assembly line, turning regular people into icons. This is how they did it, in 8 tricks you can actually use.
Holy shit.
1. Pick a thing to be known for. The old Hollywood studios had a problem. A star only made money if audiences could instantly recognize them. So they built recognition in, on purpose. Every star got a signature detail, a hat they always wore, a look nobody else risked, and it showed up film after film, until the detail and the person became a single thought in your head. You can see the same move running today. Steve Jobs wore the same black turtleneck every day, until you couldn't picture him without it. Billie Eilish had her inverted roots, one look repeated and owned until it was basically her logo. And that works because of how human memory files people. Your brain doesn't store someone as their whole self. It grabs one handle, one detail, and uses it to pull the rest of the person up later. Give people a handle, and you're easy to recall. Give them nothing that repeats, and there's nothing to reach for. Most people reset to 0 every day. Different everything, nothing repeated. To be alluring is to be memorable. To be more memorable, pick one thing and keep it. The same jacket, a color, glasses, a way you always sign off. It doesn't have to be dramatic, it just has to repeat. Repetition is what turns a detail into a memory handle, and a handle is what lets you live in someone's mind. 2. Pair in a trait that doesn't fit. Old Hollywood's most magnetic stars weren't consistent. They were contradictions. Cary Grant was the most elegant man in the room, and he'd throw himself on the ground and play the fool. Marlene Dietrich projected icy indifference while also flirting straight down the lens. Similarly today, Harry Styles is a full rock star and performs in pearls and dresses. 2 signals that shouldn't coexist, held at once. It works because your brain is a sorting machine that wants to file people fast under a label. Once it does, it stops paying attention. But a contradiction jams that process, keeping attention open to try to figure it out. Contradictory people stay unresolved. And unresolved is what we keep thinking about. To implement this, pick a trait that cuts against your main impression and let it show on purpose. If you read as serious, let the goofy side out. If you come across as innocent, add something tough. You probably don't even need to invent the contradiction. Most people already have one they've been hiding to seem consistent. But consistent makes a person easy to file and easy to forget. 3. Use your voice with purpose.
How many times have you cried?
This is my,
Don't you feel alone out on a big ocean?
Well,
I just adore conversation, don't you?
Old Hollywood didn't let stars keep their natural voices. Lauren Bacall was sent to lower her voice until it became the thing people remembered about her. Marilyn Monroe kept a high voice but made it soft and breathy. A huge number were trained in a mid-Atlantic accent, a manufactured way of speaking meant to sound expensive and from nowhere in particular, erasing a way to pin them to a certain class or region. You hear similar voices from magnetic people today. Obama built speeches out of pauses. He'll stop mid-sentence for 2 seconds, and you lean in, not out. Morgan Freeman's deep, unhurried voice makes anything sound like the truth. Keanu Reeves speaks softly and takes his time, and people can't look away.
Because of what we did on this day, in this election, at this defining moment, change has come to America.
Young fellas like yourself can wear a suit and a tie and have a job.
What do you really want to know?
I'm happy. I'm in love. Marry me.
Their voices don't hurry or sound worried you'll leave. Whether low pitch or soft pitch is better is honestly a wash. They're different flavors. The anxiety part is what doesn't seem to be optional. Anxiety in the voice is specific and audible, talking faster, pitching higher, trailing off, filling silence, rushing to get it all out before you lose the room. Every one of those signals the same thing. I'm not sure I'm wanted here. Calm signals the opposite. I'm not worried, because I don't need anything from you. And the person who seems to need nothing is the one the room turns toward. The trick doesn't have to be an entirely new voice. It's just calming the anxious one. Slow down, don't rush to fill silence, let the pauses sit, and let your sentences land fully instead of fading out at the end. 4. Send your energy outward. Most actors today are trained in method acting. The idea is to make acting look real by actually feeling it. So instead of faking sadness, the actor digs up a genuinely sad memory of their own until real emotion surfaces. But in old Hollywood, actors were trained to do almost the opposite, using a technique called radiation. Instead of reaching inward for a feeling, which made the actor seem lost in their own head and flat, they projected their energy outward, like warmth from a fire filling the space. This didn't mean be big, intense, loud, or forceful. It was about the focus of attention outward in connection to other actors, the cameras, and the audience. You can still spot people running the old method. They are described as making you feel like you're the only person in the room. People report that effect about Bill Clinton and Oprah. Attention so fully aimed outward that it feels like a spotlight. The reason this may work is because attention is felt. When yours is turned inward, monitoring how you look, what they think about you, whether you're doing this right, people read it instantly as self-consciousness and distance. When it's aimed outward, the anxiety signal vanishes, and the other person feels genuinely seen. Radiating energy might sound very mystical, but on a practical level, attention is something you can move, on purpose, in real time. Pick something outside yourself to focus on. Practice naming what you can see, hear, smell, taste, and feel. Try to notice details about the people around you. Catch yourself the moment you turn inward and redirect your attention back out.
Always believed it.
5. Control the reveal. The studios of old Hollywood understood that the less people could fully have a star, the more they wanted them. Stars were kept slightly out of reach, guarded, never quite fully explained, never handing over the whole story. What you couldn't quite get was exactly what kept you staring. You can see the skill in how the most magnetic people handle being pushed. When Barbara Walters prodded Dolly Parton, asking if she felt like a joke, she didn't get defensive, and she didn't over-explain herself. She answered, "I'm very real where it counts, and that's inside. Show business is a money-making joke, and I just always like telling jokes." Then she moved on.
But do you ever feel that you're a joke, that people make fun of you?
Oh, I know they make fun of me.
She gave exactly what she wanted to give, and not one word more. Over-explaining is a tell. When you justify yourself, over-qualify, rush to make sure everyone understands, it reads as anxious, like you need their approval to feel okay. Giving less does the opposite. It signals you're not worried about how it lands. It leaves a little unfinished, and unfinished is what people keep thinking about. Catch yourself the next time you start explaining something nobody challenged, justifying a decision, apologizing before anyone's upset, answering a simple question with 3 paragraphs. Say the short, true version and stop. Let some things go unexplained. You don't owe anyone the full story just because they asked. And the less you scramble to be understood, the more people scramble to understand you.
Dolly always says is, it costs a lot to look this cheap.
And it does.
And it does.
That's why I keep working.
6. Reveal a real flaw. While studios wanted their stars to be slightly out of reach, they also had to be careful with them being too untouchable. Perfection is cold, and cold doesn't inspire love. So they deliberately built in cracks. Publicity teams planted humble origin stories, hardships, sob stories, a bit of struggle stitched onto the glamour, so that audiences could feel not only admiration, but also attachment. This uses a psychological principle called the Pratfall Effect. A competent, impressive person becomes more likable after a small stumble, a spilled cup of coffee, an admitted flaw. The blunder humanizes them. But the catch is it only works if you're already seen as competent. The same stumble from someone who hasn't proven themselves just confirms the doubt and makes them less likable. Perfection creates distance. A crack in it creates warmth, but only once the strength is established first. One example of this effect is seen with the singer Adele. Her talent is beyond question, so when she stops mid-song to laugh at herself or swear, it makes people love her. To apply this, establish that you're capable first. Do the work well. Show you know your stuff. And then let a genuine human flaw peek through. 7. Be aware of lighting. Studios spent fortunes lighting stars. A face could look ordinary or unforgettable depending entirely on where the light came from. Cinematographers built entire careers on making one actress glow. They used soft light from the side and above to carve out cheekbones, hide flaws, and put a catchlight in the eyes. The lighting was doing half the work of the allure. Lighting was so important that when stars went out in public where they didn't have their lighting, they compensated with brimmed hats, oversized sunglasses, heavy makeup, or complete avoidance. Most creators today still recognize the difference between a flattering video and a bad one is usually not the camera, but the light. It's the single most overlooked lever in how you come across. Harsh overhead light, found in most ceilings, offices, and kitchens, drops shadows straight into your eye sockets and under your nose, which reads as tired and severe. Soft light from in front and slightly above does the opposite. It fills shadows, evens your skin, lights up your eyes, and your brain instantly reads that face as healthier and more alive. This trick is a little harder to implement on the go, but you might have more control than you think. By day, face a window instead of having it behind you. If you can pick a time, keep in mind that the midday sun is harsh, but late afternoon around sunset flatters everyone. By night, low and warm light, like candlelight, beats bright or overhead light.
Baby, lock them doors and turn the lights down low.
8. Put effort into the entrance and exit. The studios choreographed arrivals and departures obsessively. Premiere entrances, when a star appeared, when they vanished. Garbo's habit of leaving early and staying only briefly became part of her mystique.
Well,
I want to be alone.
where have you been?
The stars understood that no one remembers the middle of the evening. They remember who walked in like they owned it, and who left while everyone still wanted them to stay. You can see the same instinct in how the best comedians work a room. Robin Williams was known for applying the philosophy of always leave them wanting more, ending a set at its peak, mid-laughter, rather than milking it and overstaying his welcome. Psychologists found that people don't remember an experience evenly. They remember the most intense moment and the ending, and average those two into their whole impression. The middle basically evaporates, It's called the peak end rule, and it means the beginning and the end of any interaction carry wildly more weight than everything in between. Nail the entrance and the exit, and people remember the whole thing as alluring, even if the middle was ordinary. The way to apply this is to spend effort on the beginning and ending of interactions, whether they are physical or digital. Arrive like you're meant to be there instead of slinking in and fumbling to settle. Leave the conversation while it's still good, instead of letting it fizzle. Stop the story on the punchline instead of 3 sentences after. A good video cuts a rambling intro and ends on its strongest beat. Wherever it applies in your life, choose to end on a peak, and you'll be remembered better than people who were more impressive in the middle. Notice that not one of the tricks was to be born beautiful. The man who invented movie makeup, Max Factor, said it flat out. You are not born glamorous. Glamour is created. Old Hollywood figured out that allure comes down to how you direct attention, whether it's from others or your own. Now you know where and how to point it.